Welcome to English 11. We are going to cover the syllabus and class expectations as well as grading and a little bit of what your Canvas site will look like. Keep in mind I am in student view. Unfortunately, some of the pictures aren't showing up. I don't know why that is, but yours will look prettier as you come through here. I am still currently working on a little bit of adjusting for my in-person classes at this moment. Everything I've been doing has been online for about the last year and a half. So that being the case, currently there's a few things I will be taking off that you're going to be seeing, so you don't have to worry about it. But there are things that are very important I want you to pay attention to, and I will let you know what those are. First and foremost, as you know, my name is Kylene Bromley, and we're going to cover the syllabus. This is our main page. You're going to see a lot of information when you first get here, and the reason for that is so that you kind of know what to be looking for. Glossary is going to include a lot of the vocabulary words, but not all of them. Keep that in mind. I'll show you where you can find those a little bit later. We will be covering fallacies. So when in doubt, you're not sure which fallacies you are using, go ahead and take a look at this. It'll walk you through them. If you haven't, oops, sorry about that. If you haven't already gotten the textbook, you only are given chapter 1. So that means you need to make sure that you get the entire textbook no later than week 2. We will be using this book all semester, every day, every little thing. This book is your life source. But be mindful that you are getting the 6th edition. There is a 7th edition. I don't think there's an 8th edition. We are working with the 6th edition. Yes, I understand that it is almost pretty much a decade old. We're going to ignore that fact. It's very rare that I use books this old, but to be honest with you, the new version pretty much does every single thing that this does, except the articles in the back are a little bit more up to date. Everything else is going to be pretty much exactly the same. Also, the 6th edition is cheaper. Yes, I am a little frugal. I'm sure you are too. So we're just going to accept the 6th edition and the fact that it's from 2012 in the sake of saving a couple bucks right there. All right, so I wouldn't normally suggest using something this old when you're doing research, especially as we move forward, so many things changing. But critical thinking has pretty much been set for a very, very long time. And in all my research thus far, this book is still completely adequate for what we're doing. So it's great. I love this book very, very much. There's a reason why I've used it for this long, because it's amazing. So work with me. And ignore the fact, again, that the articles in the back are a little dated. I'm sure there's a couple ones with LeBron James still being at the Cavs or Cavaliers, whatever. I don't watch much basketball. Anyway, there's a few things dated, but we can look past that. All right, so you'll also notice we have a little section here for modules. I will show you again what that looks like in a little bit. One thing I want you to be mindful of, I'm very, very particular about MLA format. You will find that I will be asking you to make sure that you are doing MLA format in your essays and your citations, you name it. That being the case, it's probably not going to let me do it with this view. Dang it. All right, we'll get to it. I'll show you that in a second. I have to get out of student view when it comes to some of these things for some reason, so I'll take a look at it in a little bit. Anyway, so make sure you go to this MLA format to update yourself. If you're not sure about using Canvas, or maybe you're having some technical issues, student technical support, make sure you go here. Have that linked somewhere, bookmarked, get a phone number, write it down, anything so that way you don't have excuses for not turning things in. Do keep in mind Canvas is pretty darn good, and they are very good about keeping updates. So if you're trying to use technical issues as a reason for something not being turned in, it's probably not going to fly. So just keep that in mind. So if you do ever have issues, go ahead and preemptively email me way before an assignment is due. If you are working on assignments at the last minute, it's going to get you in the butt. So make sure that you be mindful of time management. I'm probably going to say that word about 16 times within this video and many more within the class. So do keep that in mind. All right, the most important aspect of this class is that though I know you have very strongly held beliefs, all right, there are some that are going to be questioned here, things that you really held true to your heart and pretty much felt you might just die with. Do note that as you become a better thinker, a more critical thinker, your mindset will change, and that's okay, because what it means is, as you gather more information, you have more things to go, oh, all right, I see now the difference between this or this. And, I now understand this new point of view based on this other research, right? So again, while you might be holding on to them, die hard to the end, we want to, and again, it's not a bad thing at all. We just want to be mindful as critical thinkers that sometimes we change our minds. I am telling you, when I was like 19, there were thoughts that I thought that I was pretty sure I was going to die with. Like this, I would never change my mind on this thing, or never would have thought differently. But as I grew up and, went to different schools and experienced a lot of life, I have seen some things, y'all. I have seen some things. As I've gotten through life a little bit more, my mind has changed. And it's a good thing. I've become more understanding and mindful and wise to things, in my opinion. And I'm very, very happy for that. So make sure that, again, while you're going to be held on to something and it's going to be questioned, don't panic, don't freak out. Work with us, be mindful on both ends. It doesn't matter where you're coming from or where you're at. Just be willing and open. We're going to be talking about things that might make you uncomfortable. I don't know necessarily if we're going to be covering evolution. We might religion, racism, global warming, sexism, nationalism, so many things that I'm sure is going to touch a nerve, because all these things now have become political, and it's just a wild world we're in right now. So just be mindful, be open, be willing. This class is going to challenge you, and that's the whole point. But it's important that we communicate with civility and that we speak with care and compassion with each other, especially in class. If someone's saying something that's aggressive, we're gonna address it. We're gonna talk about it and open it up and really see, where are these thoughts coming from, and how are we coming to these conclusions. Where's our research, where's our information. We're just going to be listening to ideas that are different than ours. All right, listening and be willing to go, maybe. We don't know fully just yet, but maybe. Okay. And I know that was very vague. You will see it when we get there. But this is just really important as a critical thinker to be mindful, open, and willing. All right, so here is our kind of a course summary. Right now, you will see I don't have due dates. I do that on purpose. I want to make sure we are all on the same page before I stick them all in there. But right now, you will see that these are all of our assignments, okay? Reading responses, I don't believe you will see this as we start in class, so these will probably get gone, but you will see everything else. I'm going to be asking for topic ideas online. I will be asking for full essays online. When it comes to study guides are what we have when we're watching a movie. We're going to be answering questions. I'm going to click on one real quick and show you. Study guides will be turned in person. Oops, sorry. Apparently that's a quiz. My bad. Sorry. Some for my online classes, I have the study guide as a quote unquote quiz. I prefer them written and printed and handed to me. They work a lot better that way. So for you all in my in classes, we're going to print them and answering them while we're watching the movie in class. Also, the only other thing we turn in class are reading responses. These will be printed and handed to me. I just see that I get better work that way. What else? So again, any essay stuff is going to be online. You're going to know because it'll tell you. We will be also having vocabulary assignments. With vocabulary assignments, I'm very particular about them. We are not defining the words. We are using them correctly. So we'll get there when we get there. For now, let's head to the syllabus. The syllabus is going to be giving us what the class expectations are. So what you will be needing to know from me from this class. Okay, so obviously we're at the Chico Center from 9:30 a.m. to 10:45 a.m. All right, that being the case, again, make sure you get the book. Very, very, very important. You cannot pass this class without the book. Get it now if you can, okay? If you want a little bit more on the goals and objectives of this class, you can check them out here. We are going to be analyzing and identifying, critically thinking, demonstrating our understanding. That's a big one, demonstrating the understanding of not just the fallacies, but the language, thought, and vocabulary. Okay. Again, I push very hard for vocabulary because these terms matter. If you've ever taken my English 2 class, trust me, words matter. It is very important. That's why I do this, to kind of get you in the habit of utilizing things correctly, not just mindlessly parroting off what someone says, but reading, analyzing it, and being able to say, I know what this word means, I understand this definition, and I'm going to use it correctly. Okay. So format for my for this class, we're going to be writing about 6,000 words. All right. There will be 2 essays. There will be about 6 to 8 word responses. Again, those are our reading responses. They go up to about 10. We will be doing 4 film study guides. Again, you'll be watching a movie and responding to the questions. And you're going to have a completed list of showing me your use of vocabulary, okay? And then a couple write-ups, including presentations, all right? We're going to be doing an ad presentation with a partner in class, as well as a debate presentation with a partner in class. So those turn out really good. They're a lot of fun, okay? Please do us the courtesy when you are in class that you are not on your phone or your tablet or your laptop or anything else while we're talking. If you're taking notes, that's one thing. I do notice a lot of students are pretty respectful about it. But by the way, when I lecture, I walk around class. If I turn around, you guys are farting around on the computer, I'm just going to have you close it and do hand notes. Don't make me do that. All right. Because what happens is people behind you are distracted by it. I'm distracted by it. It's a mess. You have an hour. Put it away. Okay. So just focus for about an hour. I do know that cell phones and internet and social media have got us doing the click, click, slide, slide thing. So within this class, we're going to try and push those temptations away and focus in class. Okay. So you will actually be expected to speak in front of class a number of times. Do keep that in mind. I like to do it with partners because it kind of like eases a little bit of that pressure when you're up there. That's why I do groups. So it's a twofold. You get to utilize your skills, and you get to work with a partner who might help you and also ease the tension of being in front of class. You will be presenting maybe a poster, though I do notice media projects on the advertising turn out really, really good. So you can try a poster, but going online and doing like a Canva or a PowerPoint or something turns out awesome. You will be taking part in a planned formal debate with another partner, meaning you'll already know who the winner is. But it's really cool because you get to practice back and forth. And it's a really, really, really fun way of showing us and giving yourself the opportunity to practice in those tactics that you've learned in class. Okay. Make sure that when we're doing presentations that you're paying attention to the people up in the front. I will say this in class a handful of times. It's very important that you are respectful to one another, even if quote unquote it's not something that you believe in. That's not what I'm asking for. I'm asking for respect. Okay. So within this class, keep in mind that I assume you know how to write essays because you have passed English 2. That being the case, be mindful when you go to write your essay. Don't just turn something in without revising it. Like, revise it, read it. If you try and turn it into me and it looks like garbage, I'm probably not going to take it, and I'm probably going to throw it away if I don't give you the F first. Okay. If I even give you the opportunity to do it again, the highest you'll even be able to get is a C. So think about it. You've done twice the work, but only for a C. Might as well do it right the first time. So go for the A the first time. Reread it out loud, walk through, however you have to do it. Just do your best the first time so you don't have to do it a second time. Research skills are also assumed. Weak sources will result in a lower grade. I'm very particular about research. We are in a critical thinking class. If you try and show me some garbage, weak sources, I'm going to toss your paper. Like, don't waste your time. Don't waste my time. Utilize the skills you were learning in this class about how to find good sources. Research peer-reviewed sources, I'm going to tell you right now, research peer-reviewed sources are going to be your best bet. Okay, if you're going to go to, Aunt Lainey's, opinion blog, I'm probably going to say, where's her sources? Where's she getting that information? You might as well just go straight to the source. All right, so keep that in mind. In your research skills, I will be looking for that. Also, make sure that you know what plagiarism is. If you are copying and pasting what somebody says, that's plagiarism. If you are quoting someone correctly, it's not plagiarism, but be mindful, don't overdo it. By the way, when you turn something in online, it shows me all of your plagiaristic type of writings. I don't know if that's the right word, but that's what any plagiarism does show up on the website. So keep that in mind. If you need more practice on that, CAS does have some great tutors that can help you here at Butte College. Okay, make sure you do know how to use Canvas. If you have any issues or concerns, again, back on that main page, there is some ways that you can get some help. Keep in mind, it is your responsibility to make sure that you are either getting alternative materials. There's other places you can go within Canvas. It is going to be your responsibility to make sure that you can access these things. As in life, this class is going to teach you a lot about life. And that is, one, your time management is not my it's not my problem. That's your problem. So it sounds terrible, sounds cruel, but that is just the truth about life. And that is the same thing about responsibility over your class work. So if you're not going through the effort to research on how to get something, where to go, contacting me, then I cannot help you. Also, as a note, I cannot hold your hand when it comes to certain things. If you're saying, help me, save me, my first response is going to go, what have you done to help yourself, right? I will ask you, what avenues have you gone before you reached out to me? It is not that I don't want to help, absolutely, but there are sources that are beyond me that are way better at some of this stuff than I am, so keep that in mind. Extra credit is not a component of this class. If you didn't do the thing, wah wah. Sounds terrible and cruel and mean. I apologize, but again, I just cannot give extra credit. If you can't get the assignment done, then there's something else we got to work on, and usually that is a time management issue. Also, you will not be able to pass this class without the textbook, and I do not accept late assignments. It is very rare that I ever offer an extension. Super rare, short of like impossible. And there's only been maybe a handful of people that I've been able to do that for. One specifically was, unfortunately, one of my students' brothers was murdered. And yes, I did research and make sure that it did truly happen and see whether or not it was a lie. Unfortunately, it was true. Very sad situation, and a lot going on for that student. So, man, sometimes life does happen. Absolutely. So again, I'm not uncompassionate, but I'm also a teacher and I'm here to help you succeed. So this is what I do. I push for you to do your best. If you do have issues, go ahead and message me, but be mindful of the research you should do before reaching out to me. So to be honest with you, with this class, do the work, you'll pass. Well, okay, how do I say that? Do the work well and you will pass. In other words, if you're not turning in the assignments out of fear, you're probably not going to do well in this class. So make sure you do your best and turn in your work to the best of your abilities. But also make sure you're revising. There's, again, places within Butte College that can help you. Reach out to your peers. I do not edit work. I will write comments when your paper is turned in, but I don't edit work. So make sure you turn in your work as a final paper. Okay. All right. So a couple assignments. I'm going to go over these really quick. Your first assignment for essay is going to be writing about analysis of a TV show. This is super cool. I love it. You're going to pick one of your favorite fictional TV shows, and you're going to describe a moral, ethical issue within the episode, and then a stance of where the characters come in. And what's cool is you're going to be using chapters 1 through 3 and vocabulary to help guide you through. You will be doing, if you do research on this, which you will make sure to put that in MLA format. The essay is due, actually, I'm going to take that back. Essay is not due as a hard copy. It's going to be due online. Okay. Partner project on advertising. You are going to get with a partner and you're going to create a PowerPoint or some kind of media that you can share within the class to show how advertisings manipulate us. Yes, advertisements do manipulate us. This will be with chapters 6 and 7. It's, explain how they manipulate the consumer and explore the different effects of that manipulation. You'll notice they use colors, they use music, they use, so many different things. It's wild. When you start to see it, you never unsee it. It's fantastic. I love this assignment. You will also do an essay on the effects of social media articles by analyzing the comments. Oh, sometimes the comments are so much better than the article themselves. So you can choose, I say YouTube, sometimes it depends on what the YouTube is. So what you will do first is you're going to say, hey, this is the assignment, the articles I want to do. You're going to give me like 3, and then we'll pick from those 3, and you're going to decide which will work best. All kinds of different things where you can choose from. I've given the opportunity for Instagram as well, because there are times where Instagram, at least for me, I follow New York Times, NPR, all different kinds of news avenues, and you will see comments. You are going to find something that has at least 200 comments, and you are going to ignore all the bots, and you're going to be focusing. So if the majority of these comments are bots, next. All right, so you want to check into the comments and see what are people saying, and you are going to see, left field, right field, everything in the middle. People are going to be arguing, and it is incredible to witness these comments. And you're going to put them in categories and start talking about them. All right, and you're going to be using chapters 6 through 9, and you're going to be talking about the different types of fallacies that people use in comments. It happens all the time, and it happens so much because, again, fallacies are manipulations, and we're going to find ways where we can combat those. At the very end, you will be doing a debate where you get in with a partner. You're already going to know your topic. You already know who wins, but you're going to have this really cool debate back and forth where you're going to utilize all the things you learned in class. Super cool. Love it. Goes well. Vocabulary assignments, you're going to have 4. Again, you are going to be making sure that you are not defining the vocabulary word, but showing me how you use it to the best of your abilities, right? So say we're using the word sample size. And instead of telling me how you're using this sample size, you're saying the definition of sample size is, and then you go into a definition. That's not what I want. What I want from you is to use it in a sentence. So you could say, the sample size that the researchers used was only 60 people, and that was not a big enough size to get adequate data, right? Do you see how I'm showing you how I know what sample size is? So within the definition, you have to show me that you know what it means. I'm sorry, within the sentence, you have to show me that you understand the definition of it. So, all right. Next, participation. Make sure that you are in class for turning in homework, all right? I always have you turn your reading responses at the beginning of class, all right? And the 4 study guides, same thing, beginning of class, all right? You got to be present to turn in your reading responses. You're not allowed to turn in something, later because you're like, oh, whoops, I forgot to come to class, or some garbage like that. So no late responses are accepted, okay? Study guides, same things. They may be turned in online, but by the due date. This is usually pretty rare. I prefer to have it in class. I'm noticing study guides online aren't really that great. Take all the points by doing it the best you can. The minimum of 6 passing responses for the study guides is needed. But to be honest with you, if you're missing study guides, it destroys your grade. So do not miss the study guides. Okay. All right. I use a point-based system. So before it was like, oh, if you turn in this, and it just got complicated. So we're going by points. Turn in the work. Do your best. I'm still going to be grading it, so it will be based on points for this class. All right. I don't take late work. Participation means to be turning in the actual work that needs to be due. Every now and then, I might offer a brain spasm. And the written assignment would maybe be a reading response, but not an essay. Does that make sense? So essays, all of a sudden you're like, oops, I forgot to do the essay. It's like, that's a big deal. All right. So don't be not turning in things because you think you get a freebie. Okay. Don't take advantage of this, because what might end up happening is you really do have a brain spasm. And it's not, whoops, bad time management, right? Again, your lack of time management is not my responsibility. So, okay, attendance policy. This is lecture in this class. Like, it's a lot of lecture, y'all. There's a lot of information. So anyway, come into class and be there and ready. If you have 4 absences, that's literally 2 weeks. Like, why bother at that point? Okay, I hate to say that. It sounds terrible. If there's like certain circumstances, you gotta message me. Always message me before things are due. keep me posted. If you're not going to come to class, let me know, and let me know why. It's like a job. If you're not going to show up to your work, just let them know, like it's the best thing you could possibly do for yourself is letting somebody know what is going on. Because otherwise the assumption is you don't care. If you don't care, we don't care. That's just kind of how it goes back and forth. So if you show the effort, you will definitely be recognized for that. Okay. So if you have 5 days of continued absences, okay, it says gives me consent to drop you from class. Can be mindful. Sometimes, while I recognize whenever you're here and when you're not there, I don't always have time to go online and start dropping people. It's actually kind of convoluted for me. So you need to be responsible for your droppings. If you don't pay attention to that, what ultimately ends up happening is you don't get your money back. You lose a grade, you lose the class. It's time wasted. It's a huge pain in the butt. So make sure that you are paying attention to dropping classes. So if you just stop showing up, I can't guarantee you're even gonna get your money back. So make sure if you do need to drop that you follow all the procedures for that. It's rare. I don't usually have that happen very often, but sometimes things happen. Okay. So again, the only exceptions we have on certain things would be extenuating circumstances like a school-wide epidemic. So we are working with that. If you are sick and you've got the body aches and the headaches and you're feeling, a little COVID-y, just make sure that you message me and let me know. I did actually get it myself. It was not pretty. And if you are truly sick, please let me know. Again, I am somewhat understanding and compassionate, even if I don't sound like it now. So just keep me posted and be mindful of not getting other people sick too. So that's another thing we consider. So make sure you're important. Within 5 minutes, I've already got roll. If you're not on that roll, I'm like, so you're late. If you keep showing up late at some point, those are considered absences. And again, 4 absences and you're gone. So just be careful with that. If you're having transportation issues, please try and figure out a way to get there on time or early. Again, it's like a job. If you've got a job you're trying to keep, you show up on time, and that's how this class will be. If you miss the first or second day of class, I will actually have to drop you because I have people on a wait list. I have a lot of people on a wait list, so show up. All right. And then writing format is MLA. Okay. Type it, double space it. There's that MLA template you can take a look at. What else? Save all your work just in case you don't know what might happen. Even if like for the entire course, you want to save all of your stuff. All right. Emails, keep everything together, and then you can delete it at the end, just to make sure we have everything in place so that we don't miss any grades or anything. Essays, make sure they're titled and numbered and paragraphs indented and 1-inch margins. This is MLA format is what I'm saying. So do MLA format. If you're doing PowerPoints, make sure you cite all of your information. Same with your illustrations. Always have it in MLA format, and you do want that last page to be a works cited page, whether it's a PowerPoint or an essay. They all have an MLA format at the end. All right, it's important that you credit your research and your sources, so make sure they get the credit where credit is due. Do not copy and paste without giving information, and I usually don't suggest copy and paste, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Do keep in mind, do not use the electronic generated cited sources thing. I hate it, drives me nuts. I instantly don't give you credit for it. Like, that sounds terrible, but it is true. You got to make sure you know how to cite your sources correctly. Those generators, they do not work, and they're always wrong. I always know a generated thing when I see it. It drives me crazy. Okay. All right, so works cited pages always need to be a part of your research, okay? It says without URLs, but I'll take URLs. That's fine. You can do that too. All right, and again, while you might be, very particular about your thoughts, we're going to be open-minded about this class. Just as a note, I hate that I have to do this, but I do because we are in class again. No cell phones. No cell phones. Not on your desk. Everything's going to be put away to the end of class. All right. We don't need cell phones. They drive me nuts. They distract you. They distract other people. They're going off. Like, I just cannot. All right. There's There's scientific proof that you cannot multitask. So the second your mind goes to another thing, your mind is on another thing. You're not doing two things at once. If your phone's there and you're looking at it, you're definitely not listening to me or your peers. Okay, so get rid of your damn phones. Drive me nuts. Cell phones that are taken out on desks can be used or used without permission will be taken and placed in a cell, aka a cell phone jail, until they are bailed out at the end of class. All right. Don't make me take your phones. This is like not high school. This is not high school. All right. I'm not going to steal your phone and keep it and put it in my pants and, walk off with it. But I don't want it on your desk. And if you cannot find a way of putting it somewhere, I've got to do something for you. So it's your cell. Your phone's going to get taken. Okay. Participation in citizenship includes active listening. All right. That means get off the goddamn phone. All right. Can you tell that as a teacher, it's just gotten to me? Yeah. I've had times where I've had students with absolute literal addictions to their phone. They could not physically look up for more than 3 minutes without back down to their phone. Wildest thing I've ever seen. So I'm going to try and save y'all from yourselves this way. Okay. Keep that in mind. All right. Calendar. Woohoo. I have it all on here. And I have all the due dates. I have everything that we have going on. So if you want to take a look, you can scroll down all you want and you're good to go. So, as a note, this is exactly what we're looking for. Keep in mind, you will be having a quiz at the end of this. And your quiz is going to be the syllabus and class expectations, okay? Super easy. I'm just going to go through and ask a couple questions. They're true and false, nothing wild and weird. So that way that I know that you know what I'm expecting in class, okay? If you need, we do have a modules here. Keep in mind what I'm about to show you is going to be a little bit different from what you will be seeing. I'll probably have the introduction. You will not have an introduce yourself. You will instead have the quiz to let me know that you've watched this video. And then other goodies as we scroll through. You will see there's a few things here that are a little bit different than what you have, but I will have the TV episode analysis that will be on here. The TV show topic and vocabulary words is going to be on here. So I'm going to have all these little things too. These will be turned in online. Your reading responses will be in person. Okay, so those are all going to be in person, as well as the study guides. Study guides will be in person. Okay. All right. Well, I think that's it for this class. If I am missing anything, go ahead and please, you can message me, let me know. If you want any more information, over along the edge is pretty much everything you would need to know, and maybe even more than you thought you needed to know. You'll have all your fallacies here. You're going to have, lecture notes will probably be there. Not all of them, so keep that in mind. Glossary is going to include the vocabulary words we will be using, goals and objectives and so forth. So little ways, if you need to, learn how to criticize with kindness, maybe you need to spot some fake news or things like that. So if you want, you can take a look and scroll through there and give you as much as I possibly can so you feel comfortable. Last but not least, if you need, we will have assignments here, so you can take a look at your assignments as they come up. It's going to be shown by date, which is going to be due. So ignore this order. This order is not currently correct. It's just going by, I don't know. It's not alphabetical. But anyway, so, all right, class, have fun. I'm excited to start this semester with you in class and have a great time.